Okie doke, so let's go. Good morning. How's everybody today? It is Saturday, the 29th of October, if I'm correct. Phew, and I'm a bit wiped out, I must say. It's been a very, very busy month, and lots of knitting, lots of working on the internet, on the laptop, making bookings, which is my worst thing. I can easily say. I find it so exhausting. You sit down and you think it's going to take you 15 minutes, 30 minutes tops, and when you look again, it's 1 or 2 hours and you still haven't achieved what you're trying to do. What am I trying to do? Well, I have received all my confirmations from my guest on my tour to India. So now it's time for me to make all the bookings. And wow, that alone, having to make bookings on the internet, but having to make bookings with Indian companies and on that side of the ocean, it's not that simple. So yes, after trying to make payments, that's actually the biggest thing, is getting the payments to go through. And I've been really struggling to get my payments for the Sacred Spirit Festival, which is happening in February in Jodhpur, which I've spoken about so many times. It is just the most amazing festival. If you ever get a chance to be in India in February, make sure you go to Jodhpur for the Sacred Spirit Festival. Well, after 6 tries and backwards and forwards to the bank and emails and messengers, and it's not their problem and it's my problem, and this morning I sorted out the problem. So I can breathe, I've got the tickets, and we're going to the festival. That was the most important thing for me. So it's a 2-day festival. And I have only booked us for 1 day, as we have quite a tight schedule. 15 days in India is very little time. So I try to spread out the experiences as much as I can. So yes, we are going to 1 full day, but that really is, it's perfect. It's really perfect, and I'm looking forward to that. And it's the day before my birthday, it's my birthday present to me. So yes, that is all about what I've been doing this past week. I'm actually going away for the weekend, and I have to take my laptop and all my papers with me just to make sure I can keep on top of what's happening. Because, if you don't make your bookings, particularly for trains in India, you just don't get on them, or otherwise you have to pay triple the price for later bookings. So we are only going to start train traveling, I think it is on the 8th or the 9th of February. But if you can do it 3 months or more in advance, it's very advantageous. So we're going to be riding trains in India. It's all very, very, very much fun. But what else has been a lot of fun from many aspects this month is the Westknits MKAL. Now, I've done about 6 of them, I must say, and it's very interesting what one goes through when you do these MKALs. Even if you've done it before, you still go through lots of emotions. It's just fascinating to me. You get started, and I'm sure a lot of you are watching have also been doing it, and this one started out with a whopper of a section 1, lots of knitting, lots of casting on, lots of casting off, but we could see, if we watched the video, that the outcome was just going to be something quite spectacular that I had never done before. So I was up for it. I'm always up for it anyway. Off we went, knit, knit, knit. So that went quite well, and then clue 2 came along. And that was pretty simple. It was very straightforward after that. And I actually quite like that idea of starting off with something very intense and fairly difficult because of its unknown quality, and then easing into the other parts, which are fascinatingly interesting and still mysterious indeed. So what can I say about this MKAL? It's definitely not my favorite one that I've done, I must say. It's very innovative as per usual. Stephen comes up with wonderful, strange, and amazing techniques. I find the shape of it, now I'm on clue 4, so I know what the whole thing looks like, is the shape is a bit strange to me. It's kind of very long this way, and then in the center there's a section, I'll show it to you, with the points that you can stop or you can go down. So I don't know, it's just very, 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 very long, like a long white scarf kind of thing. But I'm sure it's going to look lovely. And I think for me, the saving grace on this one is that I've really enjoyed the colors. I did add a 4th color. I started off with, this is my main. And then this is my, if I can get it out the bag, my plain, let's call it, my contrast, and then this was my a pop, which poppy it is indeed. So these 2 yarns I dyed up myself, and lovely pinky. It's got this gorgeous tangerine color in here, so I thought they would work very well together, and there's sort of some streaks and splotches and splatches of blue, which just sort of pick it up nicely, and then together with the cream. But as I started on the first clue, I was needing a bit more lift. I think working with the natural is always quite difficult for me, as I always like brighter colors. So I decided to go for a yarn that I had ordered from Big Fox before, not for the KAL, and definitely I was hoping to make something. I ordered 3 skeins, but I put it in, and this is called Purple Turtle, and it's totally stunning. It really lifts this. I mean, you must agree, if you like something bright. It's not even showing as bright there. Maybe if I move back you can see it. So that's my colorway, and it's really been the joy of these colors that has kept me going. There was a point at which I thought, no, I think I'm not going to do this. I'll take it out, and got many other shawls I'd like to knit. But that's all part of the process of the mystery KAL, you know. It's fascinating. One can learn a lot about oneself, how fast or how slow one is to opt in or opt out, or make your own decisions about something you know nothing about. So I basically decided to hold tight and carry on. It's knitting after all, and that's what we love doing, so we'll just carry on knitting. So that's what I did, and I think it's going to look lovely. There's some things that I'm going to add to it, I guess, at the end, but I'll only know at the end what that is. I've changed a bit of the stitch patterns, and I'll show you where I am right now, and I'm going to take it away with me this weekend, and I think I may just get to finish it. So I'm just looping my loops at the end, which come out continuously and do irritate slightly. So this was the first section. This was section 1 up until the orange bit, which, can you see? I don't know if you can actually see because it's on the needle. So that was section 1, and that's what mine looks like. So you can see every second pink stripe is the purple turtle with the purple in it, and you know, then the other pink stripe is my own dyed, and then here we have my pink dyed and my tangerine contrast color. And then oh yes, we had these little cable sections down the bottom, which again I used this gorgeous purple turtle. I'm so in love with this, I just definitely have to get more of it. And then there were some embellishments for the cables, which I did on the one side, but then I didn't really like that. I just thought, you know, this yarn is just so gorgeous, and so I'm not going to do those embellishments. And then we had this super duper long strip of twisted stitches, which I did in this gorgeous tangerine, and that was very quick and nice to have so few stitches and without the cable needle, which is something I always enjoy doing. Much quicker, and I love this color. It's just like, it's definitely me. So then I started on clue 4. Watched the video and I thought, okay, very nice. We're going to pick up all these stitches. We're going to have this other wing now, and it's just going to be stripes again. So I have changed my stripes somewhat. So this is the wing section that I've added in, totally with the purple turtle, completely. And as you can see, every second stripe I've done yarn over holes. And once this gets blocked and stretched, I don't know if I can actually do that on the camera, but here, let's see. You know, it's going to look great with all these holes. And I love holes. I really love holes. So I've done that on the one side, and then I just really had to see what the center panel was going to be like. So I've started on the next section of the chevrons, and I've attached my loops. I've just attached my loops. That's the row I'm on now. But the edge loops are still free. We're going to do something with that. And yeah, it's lovely and colorful, I must say. I think it's colorful. It always will be. I don't really know how it's going to sit, but you know, more or less that you can get an idea. This edge curls. Oh, it actually looks gorgeous. You see, I probably will change my mind. By the time I'm finished with this, I'll just absolutely love it. Because what's not to love? It's nice. It's very nice. So yes, that's the process of the mystery knit along. And you know, I've been watching this year. I said to Irina, it's like my new favorite soapy on YouTube, the Fiber Chats and Martin debating the mystery knit along. And it's been really fun to watch from the sidelines, you know, all the disasters and the dramas and the, you know, frogging and whatnot. It's been great. I said it could become a regular series. Somebody should think about it, a knitting series, just for fun. So that's what I've been doing, but that's not all I've been doing. I've been actually this month, believe it or not, casting on and starting so many new projects. I have really no idea why, but it's just happened that way. You know, I think I'm creatively inspired, and I think that partly could be because of the MKAL, you know. I've just been inspired to do new things, and also I watched a lovely interview on Fiber Chats with this fantastic Swedish lady who's got a very strange name that I can't remember right now, but her label or her name for her patterns is Honse, H-O-N-S-E, and she is the one I mentioned very briefly last time, who does what she calls fake knitting, which is actually crochet that looks like knitting. So that just grabbed me immediately. So I started this little vest. I'm not sure if I even showed this pattern, but it's very sweet, you know. And I love a vest. I love, as you can see, I'm wearing a vest. I love sleeveless garments. And look at that. I mean, you would really not say that that is crocheted, would you? I wouldn't. But here we go. I've started on mine, and I'm still, you know, I'm such a beginner with crochet. I think that this is the right side that I'm showing you. And it's this lemon peel stitch, which is super easy, super easy. And I had a few balls of drops alpaca. So I'm using this. I hope it gets me all the way. I've got almost 3 full balls, but I'm sure it will work. Otherwise, I've got a green, but I don't think green will go very well with this. But let's see. We'll probably get there. But so that's one of the things. Then I made and finished Lumpy Space. I bought that on Stephen's sale. And what else have I done? Oh, I'm still knitting on my Tiny Birds by Nim Teasdale. And she's I'm just started doing another test knit for her of a shawl, but that I've just basically cast on and done a few rows. And that I will start once I finish my MKAL. Now I'm very motivated to finish it. I think in the next couple of days it will get done, and I'll be very happy, A, to see it, and B, to be able to put it aside. And then, of course, I'm also doing my scrappy shawl from Pier, and that I'm about to cast off. So that for me is always the beauty of having multiple projects, because at some point you finish one thing and then you've just got a little bit more to do with the next one, then you finish that, and then you can have a week or 10-day period where you finish 3 things because you've already started them, and then I love. Then you can start to think about the next thing. So it's been a busy time, and I've been I think I'm just very enthusiastic and inspired, because now that I'm starting to plan my India tour, and it's been 3 years since I've been able to go back, I am really up for it. And I am going to be doing some new kind of business when I go there this time. I'm always, I'm kind of a nomad trader, let's say, because wherever I go, I manage to find things to bring home to sell. But I don't often take things from home to sell where I go, unless it's my knitwear, which in fact I used to do that quite a lot in India. But I don't know if I'll actually take knitwear to sell. I just wanted to actually just interject with this little sweet top that I'm wearing. See if I can show it to you. I'm sitting on the bed and it's very hard to move. So this is a vest. I'll have to find the name of it because it's very gorgeous. It's got, it's not joined on the side. It's got a button, and it's got this very cute little tiny pocket in a double moss. And actually today is the first day I'm wearing it. I made this to sell, and I made a few, which I did sell. But today I was clearing out a suitcase to pack for the weekend, and I found it in there, and I thought, oops, I like this. This is my color. Now, if I can show you the back, you'll see it's got this very gorgeous little smocked pattern in the back of it, smocked section. It's very lovely. It's kind of traditional in a way, which I think, believe it or not, I am quite a traditionalist. I love traditions. I do change them to suit my own purposes. And it's got this beautiful little stitch detail, a nice little neck with this deep V. And of course you wear it over something, so that's perfect. And I'm loving it. It's really great. Sorry, that was just an interjection. So what am I doing this time when I go to India? I'm taking my trip, my tour, my Mystic India tour for 2 weeks, and then I'm staying in India until June. And I am going to go and visit places that I have not been to before, because there are many of those kind of places. So I am making contact with dyers and knitters in India, and I am going to be taking some hand-dyed yarns, not only mine, but from some other dyers in South Africa. And I am going to go and do some trading, a little bit of teaching, and bringing back some gorgeous yarns that I've discovered there. So I'm going to go to Bangalore, which is in the south-ish Karnataka, and I'm going to go and meet a dyer of silk yarn. Now you can have a look. She's on Instagram, Sunray Creations. We're still busy working out how it's going to work, but she gets this most incredibly beautiful Eri silk. It's wild silk from the northeastern jungles and mountains of India. It gets spun up. I think she may spin some of it too, but she dyes it beautifully. It's pure silk, and I think it's quite rustic. It's not really like shiny silk. It's more like what we used to call raw silk, you know, almost linen-ish looking yarns in a way. But yes, so I'm intending to bring that back here to South Africa, and I'm going to put that out to the community and see if we can get some trade going. And that excites me as well. You know, I always need something to do to keep me busy. I'll be knitting all the time, but yeah, I'm going to look into that. And I also have a dear friend who is going to go and resettle herself back down in Tamil Nadu, in Auroville. I guess you may know of Auroville. It's a spiritual community that was started in the 1960s, and it has now become very, very big. It's really lovely. It's like its own town, basically, which is centered around the Matri Mandir, which is this amazing spaceship-like circular globe of a building, which is a beautiful meditation center with gardens, and it's a very interesting way of living, very communal, cooperative, lots of Westerners, and lots of creative people. So I'm going to go down there and visit my friend, maybe spend a month or so and just take a look and see what's going on there. So I'm intending on being very active, moving around and sourcing all sorts of beautiful things. In the past, when I was last staying in India, I was sitting up in the mountains in the Himalayas for a few years, very quietly, and doing creative work, but mostly being very meditative. Even in my daily life, you know, there wasn't very much going on, but it was very full nevertheless, as, you know, I had to walk to a well to fetch my water and carry it back, and walk up the mountain to go to the shop and do all my washing by hand in a bucket and heat my water. And it was very slow. It was a wonderful pace. And, you know, I think it stood me in so much good stead since I've been back in South Africa during COVID with all the lockdowns and having to just be still. It felt pretty normal to me. It wasn't that difficult for me to deal with, as I had spent the past few years prior to that pretty much doing that. Pretty much. And stillness, I can highly recommend it, because there's such vast spaces in stillness that one can take journeys without moving. So I leave you with that idea today. I don't have anything else really to show you, and I thought I would just get out this episode for you before I have to start packing, and give you a little story. And I hope you're all knitting away, crocheting away. And if you like crochet, please go and have a look at, it's a very strange name. It's not a name that rolls off my tongue. I did actually put it in last week's show notes, actually a link, excuse me, to the interview that Irina did with this wonderful, wonderful woman who, wow, I'm telling you, if I get this crochet right, this tank top, I'm going to do quite a lot more. So, yeah, have fun. Oh, yes, and it's Halloween, which we don't really, I think the kids do play around with Halloween in South Africa, but it's never been a thing. It wasn't a thing in my childhood. We didn't even know about it, actually. I don't think anybody ever mentioned the word Halloween. But it's Halloween this weekend, and I think that's on Monday. And then for me, what is always very interesting is the 1st of November, which is Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. That's celebrated primarily in Mexico. Very colorful. when I first discovered and started reading about Dia de los Muertos, which was probably in about the 1980s or 90s, I was fascinated by the celebration of death, this open celebration, a party, colourful, sweets, children, fun, sure, a lot of imbibing of alcoholic beverages and much frivolity and around death. And I have experienced death of my parent at a young age, and it was quite difficult to understand at that time. And so I actually did develop an interest in death, in the fact that we never speak about it, you know, that it's very hidden, that yeah, it was just never discussed. So I read a lot and researched a lot, and throughout my life I've actually come to make peace with my whole life, from birth to death and all of the above and inclusive, and on to the next one. Who knows where we go from here. So I'm wishing you all well. Have a fabulous weekend, whatever you're celebrating. Take care, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you for visiting. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And please go and take a look at my Patreon. I will be asking every single time I do my podcast, asking you to go and look at my Patreon. If you are interested in India, you will have a lot to see there, because when I go, I will be doing all my live videos on my Patreon, my festivals, the music festivals, the spiritual festivals on the Ganges, the mountains, everything. That's going to be on my Patreon. So I'd love you to join me there. Take care, people. Thank you.